Welcome, come on in to another edition of Three the Hard Way. I am Lionel Jones, and as I always do every week, you guys know how I do it. You know this show wouldn't be the show without my fellas, so I've got to introduce them. First up, his takes are not cold. His takes are not lukewarm. All he has is hot takes. We don't call him Hot Rod for nothing. On the board with us right now is my guy, Mr. Coach Hot Rod, Rodney Young. Rod, what's up, man?
What is going on, Three the Hard Way Nation? Hey, I'm letting y'all know right now we are simulcast. We are going hot. We going live. And like I always say, you may not like what I'm saying, but you will listen.
And as my guy, Louis Gossett Jr. said in The Officer and a Gentleman, you better not eyeball me, boy. And you better not eyeball him either. The captain of our ship, Mr. Terrence Austin. T, what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas, and what's going on, everyone out there in the Three the Hard Way Nation? What's going on? What's going on?
Man, this is a great time to be doing the podcast. Three the Hard Way is growing and growing and growing each week. And the NFL training camps are starting to ramp up. Quarterbacks are starting to report. Rookies are starting to report. So let me ask you fellas this. There's a lot of different storylines across the NFL. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of optimism. Everybody has optimism on the first day. Everybody's looking forward to their season. Is there any one storyline, or is there any one thing that you're looking forward to from a team out there this season in 2025?
Let me begin. Of course, you all have heard me say I don't have any expectations for my Browns, none whatsoever. However, to answer your question, L Train, I just want them guys to stay healthy, okay, during the preseason. I watch preseason football out the corner of my eye because I don't want anybody to get hurt, okay? Now, we've already taken a hit, us Browns fans, a week ago when Quinshon Judkins got in, that mess that he's involved in, and the league hasn't said anything yet or haven't, they have yet to do anything, but I'm expecting him to at least miss the first 6 games, okay? And then to add to that, I don't think the Browns have signed him yet, so...
No.
Here we go. Yeah, okay, good. So here we go, starting off the season, with that. Again, instead of talking football, instead of talking X's and O's, we're dealing with, off the field issues. But to back up again, to answer, your question, L Train, I just want our guys, our key guys to remain healthy, during, once training camp begins and as preseason, is among us, so staying healthy. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, for me, I piggyback off of you, T. It's staying healthy. I really am looking forward to this quarterback, quote unquote quarterback battle, which got some info on that. We'll get to that in a second. But by a possible trade to your Vikings, there, L Train, I heard a little bit through the grapevine that the Browns are considering trading Joe Flacco to back up J.J. McCarthy because they're really into Kenny Pickett for whatever reason. Don't know, but they're really into Kenny Pickett.
It must be looking pretty good.
Yeah, but they also don't want to – they want to keep Gabriel, and Shadur Sanders is a genius. I don't know, I'll say that for my shout out at the end. But I want everybody to be healthy. I'm looking forward to training camp. Yes, Quinshon Judkins is in an unfortunate situation by his own hands. And now by him not signing his contract, he has no leverage whatsoever. Anymore.
Yep.
No leverage. So he needs to just come on in, go ahead and sign the deal that they gave him, and keep his mouth shut and keep it pushing. If he doesn't do any time, don't know yet. So, yeah.
Ron, should they sign his deal? Should they sign it? Should they sign it?
Well, here's the thing. After you sign, Deshaun Watson for $450 trillion and everything, the baggage that came with him, and you brought Kareem Hunt back after he had his issues in Kansas City,
Good point.
I can see
Yeah, I
the
didn't know that. I
Browns
didn't know that.
absolutely signing Quinshon Judkins. He's a bell cow. They got a public relations department that's second to none, that he'll be able to get past this. What I would advise Quinshon Judkins, after he is, gone through the litigation process, is come into training camp, come into work, keep your mouth shut, and put your head down and just work. Don't say nothing to the media. Don't answer questions, nothing of that nature. So the Browns will sign him because they have nothing else. They're not going to bring Nick Chubb is not going to walk back through the door. So they have nothing else. They got to go with Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson, who's the backup running back that they got from Tennessee. He's not big enough to be that bell cow. He's that scat back, that Darren Sproles kind of guy, and they're really not sold on Jerome Ford. The only reason they kept Jerome Ford was because he took a massive pay cut. Because if he wouldn't have took that pay cut, they would have re-signed Nick Chubb. So
Right.
Yeah, for me, obviously, I'm going to flip it towards the Minnesota Vikings. One thing I want to see is what this Minnesota Vikings team is going to look like with J.J. McCarthy. A lot of discussion on my own channel, Unconventional Playbook, this past couple of weeks is basically how can you improve over a 14-3 season last year is what the Minnesota Vikings were. You jettison their quarterback out to Seattle. Now you replace him with a J.J. McCarthy, who I think is an upgrade, but he really doesn't have the resume right now for me to positively 100% stand on that. But when you look at each unit from the running backs on up to the safeties, the Minnesota Vikings have improved every unit. The running backs, the offensive line, the defensive line, the linebackers. Heck, there were some publications that came out this week that said the Minnesota Vikings are going to have the best front seven in 2025 in the NFL. Which I can see. I mean, they're going to have to go out and prove that because the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens are going to have something to say about that. But I do see where the Minnesota Vikings could be in that category. I know they're going to have a stout defense. They've got Dr. Blitzenstein as their defensive coordinator and Brian Flores.
Yeah, he loves to come at you. He'll come at you.
If everything hits for the Minnesota Vikings, I mean, this could be a really scary team. Again, keep in mind, I do think a little bit of this was lightning in a bottle last year, 14-3. Were the Vikings really as good as 14-3? We don't know. But I do think the team is better than last year's team. So I'm just really excited to see where that team is going to go with the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, again, Lionel, what are you expecting out of your quarterback? To be a game manager, not lose it for you? What are your expectations of him? Because I think he has what it takes coming out of the Big Ten. I think he has what it takes.
Yeah, I think you got to look at the messages that Kevin O'Connell is sending out there subliminally, because I don't think he's going to have J.J. McCarthy drop back 50 times a game and throw the football. I think because KOC has kind of been this pass-happy offensive coordinator with the Rams, pass-happy head coach with the Minnesota Vikings. I think everybody is saying, okay, well, this is the environment that J.J. McCarthy is going to step into. I mean, he improved that offensive line. Like, he fixed the interior and brought in 3 new offensive linemen, and he brought in Jordan Mason, the bell cow for the San Francisco 49ers when McCaffrey was out, to go along with Aaron Jones. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to run the football more. And I think one of the big things coming out of college for J.J. McCarthy, he didn't throw the ball that much, but he was very efficient and very clutch on third downs. So I think you're going to see a more run-heavy Minnesota Vikings than you've seen in past years. And then they're going to let J.J. McCarthy make plays in third and short situations. And I think that's going to be, at least in the early part of this season next year, that's going to be what we see out of J.J. McCarthy.
Keeping it safe, Keeping it safe,
Keeping it safe. Keeping it safe. I've got a couple of emails that people want us to answer, man. Some of them are really good in terms of the Minnesota Vikings and what people think and what questions they want answered. The first question comes from Tia Nelson from Akron. She wants to, from Akron, hometown girl.
There you go.
She wants to know, has Shadur Sanders done enough in training camp? Hot Rod, you hit on this in our opening. Has he done enough in training camp to be QB1 first week of the season?
Okay, go ahead, Rod.
All right. Well, has he done enough to become QB1? No. I just got to be realistic from a football standpoint. He's not better. He doesn't know the offense like Joe Flacco knows the offense. Now he's very athletic. He has the tools to become QB1. It's just not right now. He's still learning how to transition from college to the pros. Now what he has been doing off the field in the city of Cleveland's eyes, they look at him as QB1. They look at him as QB1 beyond a shadow of a doubt. The people in the city of Cleveland look at Shadur Sanders as QB1. I am coming from a football standpoint. He's not close right now into being QB1. He's not to me.
I agree with you, Rod, and I don't want that pressure on him, with what we've been through with quarterbacks the past, umpteen seasons. You're right. Off the field, he's doing everything that he should be doing. They love him in the community. He was running the KFC drive-through the other day, okay? So, yeah. So all of that, you're right. Again, I want the best quarterback under center, game one, okay?
Right.
And there's people smarter than all of us who are going to make that determination. But eventually, Shedeur, he's going to get his chance. He's going to get his time. Also, too, like I say, Kenny Pickett must be doing something to spark the interest of folks because it looks like he's been, doing pretty good as well. So, again, I just want the Browns to be competitive, have the best guy under center, and I don't want all the pressure on Shedeur. I don't.
Right.
And don't want any more speeding tickets out of him either, no more speeding tickets out of him. Yeah.
Hey, T, listen, I'm with you as well. I want the best quarterback under center, but here's what I like. I like the fact that you had a young man who obviously got blackballed during the draft, and now there was speculation that, Shedeur may not make the team and he's going to have to toe the line. The fact that he's in the conversation right now for possibly starting, and as Hot Rod said to open the show, the Cleveland Browns are thinking about trading Joe Flacco. So to me, that speaks volumes about what you have in that quarterback room, and part of that quarterback room is Shadur Sanders. So does that give me optimism? Absolutely. Is he ready to be starting quarterback week one? I'm with Hot Rod. I don't think he is. I think he has, a long way to go. But the fact that he's in the conversation, man, that gives me a lot of optimism because to start this thing, I wasn't even sure that he was going to be that.
Right. And you know what's interesting the other day, fellas? I heard Sean King, former Buccaneers quarterback. He was on Fox Sports the other day talking. He feels that Shedeur is ready. Now, Sean King played the position. He knows a little bit more. But then again, I think he and Deion are real tight too. So part of that could have been, coming from there. But he feels as though, Shedeur is ready to start week one. But no, he's not. No, he's not.
And Sean King, I've seen Sean King, like I said, great quarterback for the Buccaneers. Yeah. He was on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He's one of their contributing guys. He does not like Kenny Pickett. He does not like Gabriel.
Okay.
He respects Flacco. And so, he does have a relationship with Deion, but you can also hear the ones that have a relationship with Prime. But no, it does not diminish what Shedeur is going to do. I think he's going to be special. I think, and one of my biggest concerns, because the Browns do not know what to do with special athletes. They've just been, over the years, they've had no idea what to do with an athlete that is special. Okay. Not good, not average, but when they become elite, they don't know what to do with elite athletes. And Shadur Sanders has the ability, is he the answer at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? Yes. He is, if they develop him correctly and let that kid grow. If they let that kid grow, then we're not looking at another quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Now we can go in other directions, okay? So I'm just hopeful that Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski doesn't mess this up, because Stefanski loves Gabriel. Why? I don't know. I don't understand why you have a left-handed, now I won't disrespect him and call him Johnny Manziel, but another version of Baker Mayfield. I don't understand why Kevin Stefanski loves him so much, okay? It is obvious that Shedeur is a better athlete, a more quality quarterback, a bigger quarterback, okay, and very assured of his skills. I believe that if he can sit up under Joe Flacco, if Flacco is not traded, I heard the same thing. That's what I'm sharing with L Train, is they want to have a quality backup behind J.J. McCarthy. It would also solve the Browns' problem, because the fans wanted Joe Flacco back, not the organization. The fans did. So because they had terrible PR at the time, you know, they decided to bring, because of the Deshaun Watson debacle, they decided to bring Joe Flacco back. Now, if they can trade Flacco and get, because from what I'm hearing, Minnesota may deliver a third-round pick for next year's draft. I would not give up a third-round pick for Joe Flacco. Okay, I believe that the Minnesota Vikings are smarter than that. But now you've alleviated it, because now Kenny Pickett will be your day one starter. But Dylan Gabriel will be your backup, and then Shedeur will be the third. Shedeur's not, he's on this team. They're not going to release him. They're not going to cut him, because then the Browns organization will be burned in effigy. He has cemented himself in the community, and they look at him as the savior for the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
Listen, man, listen. I want to rewind. I want to rewind back to Rod's take on that, because I had to chuckle. He said he didn't want to disrespect him by calling him Johnny Manziel. Hot Rod coined the phrase "a poor man's Seth Curry."
Seth Curry,
so if you can call the man a poor man's Seth Curry, you don't have to worry about the Johnny Manziel take. I just want you to know that, Hot Rod. You don't have to do that.
Hey, real quick, L Train on our. I got a guy he came across here because we're simulcasting here on TikTok. He says Flacco is unprofessional and he's not the mentor type. You can trade him. I completely disagree. He said he's not a mentor. Okay, and I get that. But his experience alone is something that Shadur Sanders can learn from. So I really don't agree with that take.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to be learning. And we talked about this many times. You got to have an adult in the room. And that adult is Joe Flacco. Okay? Now, yes, I did coin the phrase poor man Seth Curry. I did.
Curry, yep.
I did. And
my buddy at work is still angry with you about that. He's still
and I'm
angry.
going to stand 10 toes on
Mark
that.
is still angry about that.
Hey, here you go, T. Let Marcus know this. The Hawks are thinking of offering a max deal worth, I think, about $220 million to him.
Wow.
If the Atlanta Hawks will make a grave error if they give him $220 million. That's just a quick segue, and I'm going to go, let's get back.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would not do that. So, but no, I don't agree that necessarily with Joe Flacco, getting back to Joe Flacco, you don't have to be that vocal leader. You don't have to be going out there and rah-rah and sis boom bah. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is show up and be a professional. If you show up and you are a professional, then those young guys will learn from the professionals. That's why I wish the Browns would have kept Nick Chubb, because then you wouldn't be talking about what Quinshon Judkins was doing.
Right.
Because you had an adult in the room.
In the room.
Okay. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, in terms of the Joe Flacco take, there's been many of great quarterbacks that have taken that approach when it comes to the up-and-coming rookie quarterback playing behind him, where they said, it's not necessarily their job to be a mentor. And I think when quarterbacks make that statement, I think people misconstrue that statement. I don't think Joe Flacco's going to bend over backwards to make sure Shadur Sanders is successful in the future. But I'm sure if Shedeur came to him with some questions or wanted to watch film with him, do we actually think that Joe Flacco would tell him no?
Right.
I don't
No, he
think
wouldn't.
so.
No, he wouldn't.
Basically,
No.
I just think
No.
Joe Flacco said that's not my job. I think it's the
Exactly.
job of the Cleveland Browns head coaches, and I just
Yeah.
think that's where it lies. So
Yeah,
I think
Right,
people
right.
over evaluate those statements.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Joe said, I'm there to throw the football. And back
There
in the
you
day
go.
when
That's
Charles
it.
Barkley,
That's it.
made that, statement,
And he
people
was
were saying
absolutely
that,
right.
he wasn't a role model. Now, granted, yes, some of the
Right.
behaviors we didn't like, but it was up to our dads to be our role models and our
Yes.
big brothers and everything. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Reggie Dillard from Nashville, Tennessee, man. Everybody's got questions about these quarterbacks, fellas. He wants to know, is Cam Ward ready to be week 1 starter over Will Levis in Nashville? Now, I know a lot of this is going to come from training camp, preseason games. I mean, we
Right.
haven't even seen Cam Ward take a snap yet, but I think Reggie is trying to figure out and wants to know from us, does Cam Ward have that potential, I guess, to be the starting quarterback?
Go ahead,
week
T.
one?
I think so. That's why they drafted Cam. That's why they drafted because they weren't really sold on Will. They weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Cam, I think that's what the expectations are of him, starting week 1. And I think he's ready. I really, really do. I do. I think he's ready.
So with Cam Ward, it's like T said, and like you're saying, it's about training camp. It's about seeing who's going to be the best performer in training camp. Will Levis has already been there, okay? So he's kind of got a step ahead. Now, is Cam Ward an athlete? Cam Ward is an absolute stud. He's an athlete.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
the
he is.
question is, can he pick up the Titans' offense quickly? Can he execute quickly? We have no doubt about his talent in terms of his arm talent, in terms of his physical ability. The kid is an absolute load when he runs the football.
Yeah.
Now you with the big boys. You up here with the big dogs. All right, you up here with guys that ain't afraid of who you are. So can you learn the offense and can you execute the offense with precision? If you twist my arm and tell me who the day 1 starter is in Tennessee, it's going to be Cam Ward.
Cam Ward. It's gonna be
Why?
Cam, yeah.
Because he's the shiny new toy. Okay.
Exactly.
They if the Titans start Will Levis, it won't be for very long. The first time Will Levis creates a mistake or has an error, then you will see Cam Ward because the people want to see that shiny new toy. But he does have the ability to be QB1. He does.
Yeah, he does. Yep.
Great answers to the question. We got somebody from Naperville, Illinois. Jesse with the last name Austin. Is he a relative, T? Jesse Austin?
He may be over there in Naperville. He just might be. What's up, Jesse? What's happening?
Jesse asked, what's the realistic win total for the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams this year?
Wow. Now, L Train, you know that division better than any of us. And I was reading something the other day. They were saying, the NFC North is the best division in football. However, they were putting, Green Bay at the top. And then, of course, followed by your Vikings and everyone else. But getting to the question, wow, that's a tough one because I haven't seen their schedule. I haven't seen the Bears' schedule. But I'm going to just be on the safe side and say, hey, maybe 6 wins? 6 wins?
Okay.
What'd you say, Rod?
So, I know when it comes to the Detroit Lions, they're in that division, and Detroit is.
But remember, they lost both of their coordinators.
They're always going to be tough. I probably will ride with you, T, because I don't, I followed the Bears, and I know they have retooled. I know they've tried to, they brought some people in to help out Caleb Williams. But the key for the Chicago Bears to win is Caleb Williams. That's who it is. What mentality does he have? Is he going to pull himself out of games? Does he get tired? Or, can he, I'm just saying, when you got a quarterback that pulls himself out the game, I mean, come on. And he's not injured. Okay. He's saying he's tired.
Not a good look.
No, not a good look at all. So I'll ride with 6. I'll ride with 6 wins for the Chicago Bears. They, and that's just playing it safe. They could win 6, and who knows? They may come out and blow the doors off. But it's based off of Caleb Williams. Period.
Yeah, it's for me. Knowing the division like I know the division, it's too many unknowns. They've got a new head coach. They got a new system. They brought in a lot of new pieces. I mean, everybody thinks they did really good in free agency, which they did. but you still got to mesh all that stuff together. And you're in the toughest league, toughest division in the league, so to speak. I mean, I just don't see them being super successful twice against the Green Bay Packers or twice against the Detroit Lions and twice against my Vikings. So I agree with you fellas. I think 6 wins is a reasonable figure for the Chicago Bears. I think that if they do better than that, I mean, they have really surpassed a lot of expectations. Now, I do think they're going to be heard from in the future. I think this is a franchise that is headed in the right direction. I just don't know if it's 2025, fellas. I just don't know if it's 2025. I think they're the same old Bears in 2025.
He said
but
same old Bears.
Same old Bears, man. But I think they start to turn the corner next year. I know I'm going to get killed. People going to jump on an unconventional playbook and dog me out for saying that.
You a Minnesota guy, so you supposed to be able to trash the Bears. Should nobody come at you? That's a typical Minnesota Vikings fan, bro. Come on.
I hear you. Yeah, I listen, man. I just think the Bears they aren't ready. They aren't ready for this. So, but a team that was ready last year was the Philadelphia Eagles. My guy Dominique Ellis from Camden, New Jersey, wants to know if the Eagles can run this thing back and win another Super Bowl.
It's hard to repeat in the NFL. Well, and in the NBA and in baseball, it's hard to repeat.
Now, I'm gonna ask,
they're going to be a factor.
Is that a true assessment from a Commanders fan?
Me? I just
did
live
the
in the
same
area.
thing when it came to Minnesota and Chicago. You talking about Philadelphia as a Commanders fan.
Living here in Virginia, and the Commanders are the team of this area. They are, I'm a Browns fan first, but they are a team. But no, they're not going to run it back. They're going to be good. How would I put it? They're going to have something to say. But that Washington team, straight up Interstate 95 from here, hey, those boys are, they're ready to play. They're ready to play. Terry McLaurin is still out there. The Browns were talking about, making a play for him. I don't know what the deal is with that, with Washington not, picking him, because I don't think he's going to show up for training camp. I don't think he is. But to answer the young man's question, no, Philly's not going to run it back. They're going to be a factor. Don't get me wrong. But who was the last team to win back-to-back Super Bowls in the NFL? Has it ever happened? I don't think that's ever happened.
I don't
think that's ever happened.
49ers?
Maybe the Niners.
49ers? The Niners? Or wait a minute, let's think about the Patriots.
Kansas City.
Was it KC? Okay.
They did right. They sure did, because they were trying to three-peat. So they sure did. Yeah, they sure did.
Good call.
Yeah, they sure did.
Good
job. They sure did. But no, Philly's not going to run it back. They're going to be a factor, but no, they're not running it back. Not running it back.
So, with my unbiased opinion, now look, the Philadelphia Eagles have because to me, is like the legendary wrestler Ric Flair said, to beat a man, you got to beat the man.
Beat the man, right.
And right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are the man. And so they tooled up. They're going to run this thing again. Now, will they go back to the Super Bowl? Will they win it? Yes, the Commanders got to put their best foot forward. They're saying, hold up, guys. We ready to fight for this. All right. Now, as I sit here, I'm going to ride with Philadelphia only because you got to ride with the champ until the champ gets knocked out.
It's knocked off.
So I'm going to ride with Philadelphia. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to ride with Philadelphia.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing about Philly is that they are a time of possession team. And those type of teams are hard to beat, because they limit your possessions.
Right.
So unless they change their philosophy, I mean, they're not going to give you a lot of bites at the apple when you play them. That's what makes them so good. And I don't think their defense has fallen off very much, and I think their offense is going to be their offense. And I just think, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be tough to beat. Now, with that being said, I think, I may be biased, but I think my Minnesota Vikings are coming. The only thing I say about the Vikings is that a rookie quarterback, which J.J. McCarthy essentially is, has never done it in the NFL in terms of winning a Super Bowl. So that's one X factor I give about the Minnesota Vikings. But the Green Bay Packers, in some publications, are favorite to go to the Super Bowl. And then you got the Lions, who are still a very good football team. But the question mark with them is how will them losing their coordinators affect their ability to be successful. So
and I think that's going to be an impact on Detroit.
Man, it's going to be a huge impact.
I think it's going to be an impact, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge impact. So, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. To answer the question, if I had to put money down on this, big time money, I would say that the Philadelphia Eagles will get close. I think they'll be in the playoffs. I just don't see them being able to run this thing back, fellas. I just don't see them being able to run this thing back, fellas. Next question is from Kelly Brooks. I don't know if Kelly is a male or a female, but Kelly Brooks from Fairfax, Virginia. Fairfax, Virginia, your area, saying, now that Von Miller signed with the Commanders, can he still produce? Or is he just there for leadership?
You want to take it right or me? I would say, hey, just there for leadership. Von Miller's best days are behind him, okay? Von Miller's best days are behind him, okay? Yeah. Yes, his best days are behind him, and his best days are behind him. He can be that, you know, that role model, that teacher, that one who's been there, done that, kind of help out, you know, the other ones, help the young folks. But no, his best, you know, days are, you know, behind him, and then I see him, you know, merging off the, you know, off ramp into, you know, the coaching box, you know, with that team, you know, when his days are done. You know, he's somebody that they can definitely use, you know, with his area of expertise, his knowledge, his experience. So I see him, you know, merging into coaching once he, you know, takes the pads off. I can see that happening.
What do you think, Rod? What do you think, Rod? I think Rod may be having some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I'll take it from here. You got, you know,
Rod's
Von Miller.
Rod's with us.
Von Miller, you know, he still can produce a little bit. You know, obviously he's not the Von Miller that he was back in his prime, but I think he can add some things to the Commanders, you know, along with some leadership in the locker room. So I think that's what the Commanders signed him for. And so I think, you know, again, he's not going to be this all-star, superstar stud, but I think he can give them some meaningful play. I think he adds a lot of depth to the edge rushing, linebacking type core that the Commanders have. And again, they're going to be able to continuously add pieces like this because their quarterback is under a rookie contract. So when you have that rookie contract, it gives you a lot of flexibility. The Commanders are taking advantage of that. So I think Von Miller is going to add a lot to the puzzle for the Commanders. Rod, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
You're
so Von Miller, once again, is Von Miller going to be a Super Bowl piece? No, he's not. He's not. But he has experience that the team needs. You cannot put a value on experience. Okay, when it gets to that, I mean, if you think about it, let's look at what the Cavaliers did. They had Tristan Thompson, but when they really needed that experience, he wasn't there. Okay.
Great point.
So you cannot put a value on experience. And Von Miller still has a little bit in the tank. It's not the Von Miller of old, but it's going to be quality enough to where these young D linemen, these young defensive ends are going to see a veteran in camp. They're going to see a real leader, a man in camp, and they're going to put what they take from him on the field. Because if you know Von Miller, he's a teacher. He teaches. So he's going to teach these young DNs how to get better in their craft, okay?
Sure is. Yep.
Great answer. And last one, this is from, I'm hoping to pronounce this right, Jared Bellamy from Miami, Florida. He says, how will the Micah Parsons contract saga impact Dallas this year? How will the Micah Parsons contract saga
let me start and you
ahead,
finish it. How would I put it? Jerry Jones just always just keeps doing the same old thing. Now, I don't know if Micah Parsons' agent was saying, let's wait, so you'll get the largest bag in the end. If so, he's agent of the year, and he outsmarted, Jerry Jones. Now, hey, the money that Jerry Jones is going to have to pay Micah now, is it worth it? When the last time the Cowboys been to an NFC championship?
That's
right.
When was
the last time? I'll wait.
Come
I'll
on.
wait. I think it's been almost 30 years.
You're going to be
gotta
waiting a
wait
long
long.
time, T.
Yeah, exactly. So those two guys, Watt and, our guy, getting, that bag, and they're far older than, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, hey, drive the Brinks truck up to Jerry Jones's garage and, take off. So how is it going to impact? Well, hey, Jerry's just going to pay him a whole lot of money and not get much in return, as far as wins. Micah Parsons is going to show off, okay?
Right.
He's going to make tackles, make hits. I mean, he can play. He's a stud, but will it equate to wins, okay? Will it equate to wins? Will it equate to a playoff win? Will it equate to showing up in the NFC, championship game? I don't think so. So, hey, a lot of money and nothing in return. That's the way I see it. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, so everybody knows that Jerry Jones has a preponderance of overspending. I'm not saying Micah Parsons is not worth the money, he is. But once again, you look at TJ Watt, you look at Myles Garrett. Are these two guys two pieces that can take you to a championship? TJ Watt can. Myles Garrett still trying to figure it out, okay? But he has the ability to do so. Jerry backed up the Brinks truck because he wants him in that same conversation, okay? So shout out to Micah Parsons. Go ahead and get your bag, bruh. I ain't mad at y'all. Go get your bag. Do your thing, all right? But is it going to make Dallas better? No. Because there's still other holes in the Cowboys. There's still other holes on their team, okay? When it comes to TJ Watt, I know my Pittsburgh Steeler people, and I don't care how y'all feeling, okay? Y'all signed TJ Watt out of desperation. Y'all didn't want to give him $41 million a year. You didn't want to do that, but it just chapped your jaw that Myles Garrett got $40 million. It made you upset up there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right? But to say that TJ Watt, and don't come at me with these, well, let's look at the stats. Okay, you're talking to a former football coach. Is TJ Watt a legitimate defensive end, or is he a rush linebacker? I'll wait.
Wow.
Myles Garrett is a true defensive end.
Yes,
he is a legitimate defensive. You don't see Myles Garrett backpedaling into coverage.
No.
Maybe every once in a while Schwartz throws him out there. But TJ Watt is a linebacker who is rushing on the end. They're two different positions. So get away from me with these comparisons, okay? Number two, what has TJ Watt done that would require you to say, he's the top defensive end, not defensive end, in the league, okay? I'm sorry. Hey, L Train T, y'all know these Pittsburgh people about to come at me, but I am for all the smoke.
They on the turnpike headed your way now.
I'm telling you right. Hey, come on down. Come on down. But I'm tired of that. I'm tired of this comparison. TJ, and I'm not going to take anything away from TJ Watt. He is a great football player.
Yes, he is.
Okay?
Yes, he is.
But I want Pittsburgh Steelers fans to tell me who plays across from him on the other side. And then you take Myles Garrett and you tell me who's been playing across from him on the other side. Okay? So TJ ain't had to go after double and triple teams. TJ's always been one-on-one because he's had Hayward in the middle, and then he's had a good linebacker on the other side. So miss me with that, okay?
Right.
Miss me with that. So I know that kind of went off on kind of a rant. We might have to have a push the coaches button, okay? But Pittsburgh they paid TJ out of just being petty,
desperation,
because they were desperate. They didn't want TJ to feel that he wasn't the best defensive lineman in the game because
trying to one up us.
Yeah, so they one-upped him, and they only signed him for $1 million more. Okay, so you really ain't valuing him that much. It's because you only paid him $1 million more. If I'm Jimmy Haslam, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna restructure Myles' contract, and I'm going to put him up to $42 million just to make the Pittsburgh Steelers upset. Can y'all tell I'm not a Pittsburgh fan?
Hey, listen, man. I'm
tell?
right there with you. You talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, two franchises that I don't care anything about. And the gravy on top of the mashed potatoes here for me is I love franchises that I don't care about that give out these lucrative big contracts to position players that are not worth the value. I come from a franchise that I root for, the Minnesota Vikings, that were under the foot of Kirk Cousins for 6 years, and we couldn't make any moves. So when I see the Pittsburgh Steelers make a move like this, and again, Rod, I'm with you, man. I'm not saying that T.J. Watt is garbage. He's far from garbage.
Far from it.
But
he's a great player. He's a great player.
Worth the money, and did you get over emotional from the Myles Garrett contract?
Yeah, they did.
My answer to that is yes. And it's going to put the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, in a bad position. And being a Cleveland Browns fan, too, I love it.
I'm okay with that.
I love it.
Okay with
hey,
that.
I ain't mad at you. Give him some more money if you want to.
Yeah.
There you go.
I ain't mad at you at all. Not mad at you at all.
Go ahead and pin yourself against the wall. That's fine. Just to make TJ happy. Go ahead and do your thing. Okay? Because JJ was out here, his brother was out here I don't know why the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't paid him. Go ahead and pay him. They paid him. And TJ got his bag, and I'm okay with that. Now let's see you sign some other people after Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Good
Go
luck
ahead
with that.
and do that.
Good luck
with that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
But
fellas,
let's say this real quick. We are because I know Pittsburgh Steelers fans, they coming.
I don't
they
care.
coming. But you got to understand, we three the hard way, man. We three boys from Cleveland. You understand? And so we going to tell it like it T.I. is. And like I said, I'm all about the smoke. Come on, Pittsburgh fan. Oh, and I know what y'all Steelers fans are going to come at me with. I know what y'all going to come at. Well, we've won all of these Super Bowls. Okay. I give y'all that. Great job. Y'all had that. Let's talk about right now. Let's talk about what's going on right now.
Right now.
Okay?
Right.
My DMs are going to blow up.
Speaking of what's going on right now, there's a little fight. There was a little fight last night. Manny Pacquiao. Again, I'm not a big boxing fan, but when there are, highlight events, I'll tune in and watch. But I mean, to be quite honest with you, this shows you how much of a boxing fan I am. I really didn't realize that Manny Pacquiao was going to fight again.
Did he win?
It was a draw from what I heard. It was a draw, so now everybody's speculating, well, what's the next fight? Everybody was talking about Mayweather possibly, but, now since it's a draw, is that still a big ticket? Like, what are your thoughts on Manny Pacquiao, the fight, the draw, that whole deal?
Now, you all remember I said, back in the day, back in his heyday, I think Manny Pacquiao was one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, okay? Back in his heyday, all right? His heyday is way behind him. And the way this thing was set up is if he would have won last night, they were already in the works for him and Mayweather to fight again, which I want no parts of. I ain't wasting my time. I had to ask you, did Manny win last night? I didn't even know. That wasn't one of the things that I tuned in to ESPN this morning on my way to church to find out about. I didn't. So, but that's what they're trying to do, man. I tell you, we're in this Jake Paul era, this fake boxing era, this, all of this crap going on. I mean,
what's going to be my question, T? Is this what boxing has become? I mean, the whole Mike Tyson's last fight, man.
That was a fiasco.
Is that?
Fighting at age 60. Come on now. Fighting at that age. The legends are rolling over in their graves right now, to see the mockery that boxing has become.
Yes.
Okay. But again, the way it was set up is that if that Manny would have won last night, him and, Mayweather. And Mayweather loves a great payday. He loves a great payday. He's a genius when it comes to making money, with boxing. However, I'm not. I'm just like I didn't tune into it of it. And like I say, what boxing has come to, we go back to the days of watching Ali on Wide World of Sports. We remember those days, okay? Sugar Ray Leonard, all of the greats, Duran, Tommy the Hitman Hearns, Marvelous Hagler, all of that. But yeah, what boxing has come to now, man, it's a disgrace. It's thumbs down, two thumbs down.
And y'all know I'm a boxing guy. And so I love boxing. I love the art form. I love the sport. But when I heard about Pacquiao fighting, I didn't even care who he was fighting because I don't want to see geriatric gymnastics. I don't have the time nor the energy for stuff like that. Okay. Why don't we just go ahead and wheel in Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns and let them go ahead and throw their dentures at each other. I don't have time for that. I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. I would have wanted to see that probably 5 to 10 years ago. I would have liked to see that fight. I don't want to see that fight. When you got guys that just hanging on because they have nothing else to do, that to me can be disgraceful. And I love Manny Pacquiao. I do believe that he's pound for pound one of the greatest fighters to ever step in the ring.
He is. Yeah.
But right now, there's something else that you need to do. And I think what's sticking in his craw is because he believes in his heart that he could have beaten Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. And he believes that Mayweather ducked him at his heyday because he knew that he could beat Mayweather. But we'll never know. Okay? So to try to fight Mayweather now, let's say he beats Mayweather now. Who cares?
Who cares?
No one cares. Okay, Mayweather is out here doing exhibitions and fighting John Gotti's son and fighting Conor McGregor. Nobody cares.
And you know what, Rod? It won't even be a real fight. It won't even be a real fight. They'll set it up. Both get a couple of punch, couple of licks. No one get hurt, and they go home with all that cash, all that cash.
Because no one can tell me that the Jake Paul Tyson fight wasn't fixed. I watched that fight.
Yeah, it was fixed.
I watched it. And I even at almost 60 years old, there were a couple opportunities Mike Tyson could have knocked him completely senseless. And I watched it, and I watched Tyson pull punches. He pulled them, okay? He pulled them. So the boxing game for me right now, the only fight that I'm hoping that turns things around is the Triple G and Crawford fight that's coming up.
There you go.
That's going to be a battle. That's going to be a battle.
I'll watch that.
Now, I'll watch that, okay? Because Triple G can still go, and so can Terrence Crawford. He can go. So I want to see that. But in terms of, has boxing diminished? Yes. This Jake Paul type of boxing is sad. Okay?
It is really sad, man.
It is tarnished boxing. And I can't, as a person who loves to watch I can't watch that. I can't, and I won't.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, we got the WNBA All-Star game, going on. We got the All-Star weekend. Obviously, it's kind of a buzzkill, especially with the three-point competition. Caitlin Clark not being able to participate.
Yeah.
She's dealing with this growing injury that's been nagging at her, for the past couple of weeks in terms of just even playing in her regular season WNBA games. With Caitlin Clark being out, do you think it was a buzzkill to the WNBA All-Star game?
Well, it was, but also too, L Train and Rod, it was a chance to showcase all the other talent. There's a lot of other girls out there that are good ballers that we need to focus on. Angel Reese, this girl playing up in Washington, I can't call her name. The girl with Vegas. Just about every team has somebody that they can showcase. So yes, with Caitlin being out, let's look at, the other talent out there. Let's look at the other girls. Caitlin is the core of the league. Don't get me wrong. She is the core. She looks like Steph Curry out there, okay? She does something that, a lot of those other girls can't do, and it was a first. But again, don't sleep on those other girls that are out there, okay? That other talent that's out there, and that's going to be part of my parting shot in the end. Although, it was a buzzkill early on with Caitlin being hurt. But I still wanted folks to, tune in and watch that product. And again, like I say, the women are starting to come. Keep coming, women. Keep coming, women, and supporting this thing. Come support this league, just like you support the NFL, just like you support the NBA. Women step up and come in and support these girls.
Yep. Ryan, what do you think, man?
right now, Caitlin Clark, of course, is the face of the league. She's the face of the league. So, yes, it can be a buzzkill that she's injured and she's not going to be able to participate. But I do agree with T-Money, man. There are other women in the WNBA who are very talented. They are extraordinarily skilled. There are others. And I think sometimes that this is the problem when it comes to Caitlin Clark, is how the WNBA is perceiving her, okay? And come on now, we all know, as an athlete, especially in female and women's sports, you got some women who are catty, and they don't like that. They don't like that saying, okay, well, she's better than 90% of the ladies in the league, because that's not true. She's a baller. She can play. But there's some other ladies, like you said, the Angel Reeses of the WNBA, okay? There's so many different other players. And so her not being in the All-Star game, to me, will not diminish the game. It's not going to diminish the game, because I want to see somebody else. It's time for somebody else to step up. It's time to see the other talents that are in the WNBA. Although she's not there, although Caitlin Clark's not there, I'm looking to see who everybody else. Okay?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. The question is the glass half empty or half full? Yes, Caitlin Clark not being involved, it's kind of a buzzkill. But when you look at, if you had to thread all the WNBA All-Star weekends together, which one had the most engagement? Which ones had the most viewers? Which ones had the most interest? It would be the WNBA All-Star weekend this weekend. And, in terms of Caitlin Clark not being there, yes, they would have liked for him to be there. But this game, in terms of the WNBA, and like you guys just pointed out, there's so many good players. The WNBA has never been in this great of a position ever. So I think even with Caitlin Clark being out, it's a successful WNBA All-Star weekend.
Yeah,
and so the WNBA should be really, really happy about that. Fellas, I got a subject, because we all deal with young people. T, you've dealt with young sailors in your time. Hot Rod, you've coached various sports. You deal with young people all the time. Same with me. There was something that came across the news feed this past week that kind of irked me a little bit. I know, Hot Rod, you and I were talking about this before we came on the air.
Thank you for telling me.
With Teddy Bridgewater, man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give, I know Hot Rod has some strong feelings about this, so I'm going to let Hot Rod go. I just have to say.
Let him cook.
That there has been plenty of time with myself dealing with young people that I have put the young student athlete, young person trying to be a mentor first. And there have been plenty of times where I've volunteered my time. There's been plenty of times where I've come out of my pocket to pay for stuff, out of investing in the youth in our community and our society. And when people do that, there should never be an instance where those people are punished for that, especially in the role of being a volunteer. And so what happened to Teddy Bridgewater this past week, in my opinion, was disgusting.
Yeah.
To me, it's unforgivable. But that's just my take. T, give us your quick thoughts, and then we're just gonna open the floor for Hot Rod and let him go.
Yeah. I don't know the whole story, bits and pieces of it, but you're right. You can never go wrong when you're trying to, help a young person. Like you two, not only do I mentor young sailors, but since the Million Man March in '95, I've been mentoring, young men, young black boys especially. I got various reading programs here in my store, trying to encourage them to read and to turn into scholars and walk across a stage and grab a diploma. So again, like I say, when you're trying to help a kid, you can never go wrong. You can never go wrong. And again, what Teddy Bridgewater, did, I commend him for that. And there's plenty others that are out there doing that. I was talking about Jalen Rose the other day, the Jalen Rose Academy that he's got up there in Detroit. That is awesome, man, what he's doing. That is so awesome what he's doing. But go ahead, Rod. Yeah, go ahead, take it, because I know you want to cook with this one.
For me, it is horrible that you have someone who is volunteering his time
if we can
to help young youth and to help youth that in Florida from the inner city, okay, to help that community, and you have higher-ups who have no idea about the plight in the community, is going to suspend it. He should be commended. The fact that he came out of his pocket.
We commend him. 3 the hard way commends him.
To come out of his pocket to help young students. He was feeding them out of his own pocket before games. Where the schools, he took on the responsibility, and when I coached, the school took on that responsibility. He did that out of his own pocket. Kids would be injured. He sent them to people who he knew, and he paid for it, okay? He wasn't putting money in the kids' pockets, even though if he did, we got NIL now, so what's the difference?
Right.
I don't understand.
Exactly.
I don't understand how you have someone who is in the community, trying to help the community, trying to help these young black men.
He's helping the community.
Okay,
He's helping
become better, not just football players, but to become better men. Just like LeBron James with his school. People had a problem with that. And he's educating kids and sending them to college for free. And people had a problem with that. I don't understand what I do understand, but this ain't the platform to talk about it. I just don't get it why we have our athletes who are giving back to the inner city being criticized, suspended, reprimanded for doing what we should be doing, which is taking care of our young athletes. So shame on the Athletic Association in Florida. Shame on them, because you missed the point. 2, we know that it was an L Train. You've coached for a long time, and so have I. T, you've carried men to higher heights. There's always somebody that hates you because you're doing something positive for young men and women. Somebody is always going to talk trash about you, and that's what's going. I guarantee you that there are 1 or 2 coaches that coached against Teddy Bridgewater because they had just won the state championship the year before. So I guarantee you there are 2 or 3 coaches that found out that he was doing this, and they ran to that Florida Athletic Association and let them know. Because I'm telling you, when you're doing something great, there's always going to be hate.
Exactly.
Great take. You know, that was a story that just really bothered me, and it resonated with me because over the years, you know, there have been certain situations that are similar that I have been in where you receive a certain amount of vigor for it, and I will never understand it, especially in a volunteer role where you are coming out of your pocket. You're coming out of your pocket to enhance the lives of the people, the young people that you're working with. So I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Before we get to our start 1, cut 1, bench 1, erase 1, and then our parting shots, I got some stamp it or scrap it takes that I just want to get you guys' opinions on that came across my desk. The first one is Stefon Diggs. His move to the Patriots, $63 million over 3 years, makes the New England Patriots a legitimate threat in the AFC. Stamp it or scrap it?
Now, their defense has improved. The Patriots' defense has improved, but Stefon Diggs taking them to the next level, scratch that. Thumbs down. That ain't hitting on nothing. They ain't going to do nothing. No. Scratch that.
Right now, the New England Patriots are a dumpster fire. It really doesn't matter. They can go ahead and sign him for $500 million. Stefon Diggs has been disgruntled everywhere that he's gone.
He sure has.
Everywhere he's been.
He's somewhere pouting right now.
He was with let me tell you, he was with Josh Allen and he couldn't figure it out.
Exactly.
Okay, one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL and he couldn't figure it out. Stefon Diggs is not a game changer. He's not going to change the meter at all.
Stefon Diggs helps out Drake May. But Drake May better get him the football or else he's not going to be happy, and that's going to hurt Drake May. So in terms of them being a legitimate AFC threat, not even close. I'll scrap that. They've got too many holes to fill,
Right.
And so just the signing of Stephon Diggs alone
Right.
is not going to help that. Will he help
Right.
Drake May? It all depends on his mindset
Yeah.
and if he's getting the football or not, or else he's going to become a cancer in
Yep.
that locker room like he has been everywhere he has gone. So
Yeah, he's going to kill Drake May's spirit. That's what he's going to do. He's going to kill his spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to kill his spirit.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So why they wanted to bring him in and pair him in with a young franchise quarterback, I'll never know, but I think it's a mistake. The massive extension for TJ Watt will pay off for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I know we've touched on it, but will pay off eventually with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The key word is eventually, with a Super Bowl at some point. Stamp it or scrap it.
There's an opportunity to next year, but after next year, no. So to answer the question, I'm going to scrap that too. I'm going to scrap that. They're going to be in contention this coming season. They're going to be because they're the Steelers. But after this season, no. No. Mm-mm. Scrap it.
They'll be in contention while Aaron Rodgers is there. Aaron Rodgers is there on a 1-year deal.
That's it.
After that, if he doesn't do it this upcoming year,
done.
Yeah,
Nope.
they can forget about it. They can forget about it.
Yeah,
See, I was
I'm gonna
positive, Pittsburgh fans. I was positive. See, I was positive.
I'm going to scrap it. I don't think the signing is going to end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers winning a Super Bowl. I don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers the way things are set up. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl for a long time. I think eventually, the Pittsburgh Steelers, wonderful head coach who I respect with the utmost, I think he's going to wear out his welcome because he's not going to be able to win that Super Bowl. I think the fans are going to get bored. I think the franchise is going to get bored. So I think they're going to move off their head coach. They're going to have a linebacker with a big contract. They have no quarterback.
Right.
I don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers doing anything without Mike Tomlin. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers for a long time, they won't win a Super Bowl. So I can scrap that pretty easily.
Okay.
The Netflix documentary, Quarterback, everybody's been talking about that. And one of the quarterbacks that's featured on there is Kirk Cousins. Will Kirk Cousins be traded from the Atlanta Falcons at some point this season? Stamp it or scrap it?
I'm going to stamp that because somebody's going to get hurt and they're going to need, unfortunately, somebody's going to get hurt and they're going to need a quarterback somewhere else, elsewhere. So, yeah, he's going to get another shot. So I'll stamp that. He's not going to be with Atlanta all season long. He's not going to, no.
I stamp that because you're going to have a contender that's going to have an issue, an injury of some sort. And they only need they need somebody to finish out the season quality. And so that's where Kirk Cousins is going to come in but the thing is the Falcons are going to ask for a haul for him. They're going to try to get their investment back for him. And so, but I see a contender, maybe a quarterback going down and that contender reaching out. Yeah. So I stamp that.
I will stamp that as well. I just don't see at that price tag they're keeping Kirk Cousins long-term on that roster. Unless Michael Penix Jr. in his first 3 to 4 games just look like trash, then I think all bets are off. But I don't look at Michael Penix Jr. as being that. I think he's going to be very serviceable, especially early in the season. And I think he's going to get better and better and better. So I would stamp that as well. Kirk Cousins is going to be on the trading block pretty quick. Last one, fellas. Russell Wilson got traded to the New York Giants. And with that trade, the New York Giants will not win more than 5 games this season. Stamp it or scrap it?
I'm going to scrap that. They're going to win more than 5 games. They got that beast of a receiver. What's his name? What's that kid's name again? It escapes me.
Neighbors.
I know
Caught for about 6 neighbors.
Neighbors. That's it.
Neighbors. Yeah, Neighbors is something else. He's not too neighborly in the opposing team's secondary. I tell you that. So no, they're going to win more than that. They are. Because Russell, he's got something to prove. He's got something to prove. Yeah, he's got something to prove.
I'm gonna say stamp it with a caveat. Russell Wilson is not going to have 5 games to prove himself.
Ooh.
16.
Ooh.
That's that hot take. That's why we call
that's
you
that hot
Hot Rod,
take.
'cause you got these hot takes.
I got some Giants fans in my building. They'll be coming after you tomorrow.
Yeah,
right? I got some Giants fans there.
I'm just thinking that because the organization wants to move forward with Jackson Dart, I really believe that Russell Wilson is going to have a small serving size because the Giants believe that they can compete. They believe that they can go for it. And if the Giants end up 2-2 or 1-4, 1-3, you will see Jackson Dart as the quarterback for the New York Giants. So I'll stamp it, but they'll
put him in before Jameis. You think they'll put him in before Jameis?
Oh, absolutely. They're gonna put him in before Jameis Winston.
Before Jameis, okay.
Because
That's
and
how we want
it's
it
no
to be.
disrespect to Jameis, but they saw what Jameis did in Cleveland. They just needed a backup. They needed insurance because they didn't know what kind of quarterback they were gonna get in the draft. They knew they were gonna go high, but they didn't know who they wanted. So what they did was they brought Jameis Winston in as an insurance policy. Okay, I think they tripped up and got Russell Wilson with the fact of that Pittsburgh didn't re-sign him. I think that they want Jackson Dart at center, behind the center, during this season. So Russell Wilson, because he's the experience, will go. So here's how it'll be set up: Russell Wilson, Jameis, and then Jackson Dart. But you'll never see Jameis Winston. You'll see Jackson Dart when he's ready. And even if Russell Wilson is doing well, you still will see Jackson Dart as soon as he's prepared, because they're not going to invest in Russell Wilson. Yep, just see what he can do.
Yeah, just see what he can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Giants' whole schedule yet, but I know that their division is pretty daunting for them. So that's not favorable for them.
Yeah.
I agree with Hot Rod. I think that at some point, Russell Wilson's going to be nixed, and Jackson Dart is going to be the guy. With that, he's a rookie quarterback, so he's probably going to go through some growing pains as well. So 5 wins for the Giants. Woo. Man, that is tough. That is tough without seeing their whole schedule. But I think I would stamp that for now. Stamp that for now with an asterisk, I guess. I would have to really, really take a look at their whole schedule. That's it for stamp it or scrap it. Now we got to get into start one, bench one, cut one, erase one. Hot Rod, I think it's your week, man. I think it's your week.
Okay. I thought it was your week, L Train. I thought it was your week.
I did last week.
Yeah. Okay.
I got something for y'all right now.
Let's go, Hot Rod.
Okay, y'all ready?
I'm ready to go.
All right. I'm gonna tell my TikTok nation, hey, this is start one, cut one, bench one, erase one. So here we go. We're gonna talk Hall of Fame coaches.
Oh,
Hall of Fame coaches.
Why you got that smirk on your face, Hot Rod? You must have something for us.
You know I do. So here we go. Hall of Fame coaches. Start one, bench one, cut one, and erase one. We will start with the legendary football coach of the New York Giants and the New England Patriots for a moment. His name is Bill Parcells.
Okay.
So we start with Bill Parcells. Then we go to basketball and the great Greg Popovich. To baseball and the legendary Tommy Lasorda. And then finally back to basketball, Mr. Pat Riley.
Wow.
So
see, he mixed disciplines. You see that?
See, this is what he does, T.
Yeah, that's what he does.
This is what Hot Rod does.
He mixed math, English, science, and geometry. Wow.
It is quantum physics of sports.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, Rod,
I'm going to go first, L Train. Hang on. I'm going to go first. Hang on.
Bill Parcells, Greg Popovich, Tommy Lasorda, Pat Riley.
All right, T, you go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go first. Wow. This is a tough one. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start Coach Parcells. Got to start Coach Parcells, okay? I'm going to cut Pops, okay? And one of the reasons you got to attach load management with Pops. He's got to wear that one. He's got to wear that one, load management.
So are you going to cut him or bench him, T?
I'm going to cut him.
Okay.
I'm going to cut him. I know I'm going out of orders. Yeah, so start Parcells, cut Pops. I'm going to bench the great Tommy Lasorda. I'm going to bench him. And I'm going to erase, Pat Riley. And what he did in New York was phenomenal. But this was a tough one. So, yeah. So, start Parcells, bench Lasorda, cut Pops, and erase Pat Riley. Wow.
Okay.
It's tough, T.
Yeah, it's real tough.
That's tough. All right. Listen, I'm going to start Pat Riley.
Okay.
Start Pat Riley. I am going to bench Pop. I'm going to bench Pop.
Bench him, okay?
I am going to cut. Oh, this is tough. I am going to cut Tommy Lasorda. Nah.
Okay.
No. I'm going to cut Bill Parcells.
Cut Parcells.
And I'm going to erase Tommy Lasorda.
Wow.
Okay? Now, let me explain myself.
Wow. Justify that.
My start and my bench. You're talking about Pat Riley, who changed the NBA in terms of showtime, who was part of a dynasty. And I used dynasty as the benchmark. You had Pop that had his dynasty. You had Pat Riley that had his dynasty. The other two coaches that are on the list, they are not dynasty coaches. They had some good runs.
Good point.
But they're not dynasty coaches. Bill Parcells and the whole New York Giants defense, Lawrence Taylor, that whole
Harry Carson.
That bumps him over Tommy Lasorda to me. Doesn't mean that Tommy Lasorda is not worthy of being on the list, because he is.
Right.
I just don't think he outshines the other three. And I put dynasty over anything else. And I just think Pop and Pat Riley had those dynasties.
Wow.
That's
all right, orchestrator of this.
The fact that you started to explain yourself means that I got you.
Yeah, you got him.
You got him.
He ain't even make it out the backyard. He ain't even make it out the fence.
Here is where the shocker comes in. Is I absolutely agree with Lionel. I am starting Pat Riley.
Wow.
I am benching Greg Popovich. I am cutting Bill Parcells, and I am erasing Tommy Lasorda.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I knew
my
it was
baseball
gonna be
gets
difficult.
no love.
Listen. Tommy Two Toes, man, he was great. But when you look at, like I said, from the aspect of, you look at what Pat Riley did, like he said, Pat Riley, he created Showtime. Okay, you can if you lump him in, and if there was one coach for Boston, you could have lumped them in. I could have said KC Jones, because KC Jones was there most of the time during those Showtime eras. Okay, but it was just something about Pat Riley, and he's still doing it even though he's in the front office of the Miami Heat. He knows how to build championship ball clubs. Okay, Greg Popovich just speaks for himself. Just what he's accomplished. It speaks for itself. Bill Parcells, I love Coach Parcells, but if you want to talk about, did he create dynasties? No. Did he create the dynasty of a coaching tree? Yes.
Yeah.
When you talk about the people that coached up under him, the Nick Sabans, the Bill
that's true. That's a good point.
Okay,
the list
you're
is
talking
long.
about that. But we're not talking about that. And then, like, Tommy Lasorda was just, when you say L.A. Dodgers, even now, when you say L.A. Dodgers, the first person, if you're old school, you think of Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy Lasorda.
Okay, just like when you talk about the New York Yankees, you talk about Billy Martin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, or George Steinbrenner. You talk about that first.
Yeah.
So, no, I agree with Lionel. That's a good call. That
was a tough one.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be all football. Coaches. But I should know you basketball guys always got something up your sleeve. You two fans always got something up your sleeve.
Next time it come around me, I might do great figure skaters. You never know.
You never know.
You had me on that one.
All right, pardon shots, fellas. I've been getting a lot of good feedback about our pardon shots. I think it's something that our fans look forward to. So let's start with our parting shots today. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, let me go first with I'm gonna give it to the women, okay? I'm gonna keep it sports, just sports on the court.
Come on.
Give it to the women. It was a buzzkill early on with, Caitlin being down, and a lot of fans were, they had to drop the price of the tickets, and a lot of fans were saying no thanks. But that was a heck of a game that those girls played yesterday. Team Collier winning 151 to 131. I enjoyed watching it, okay? Didn't see the whole game, but, caught the highlights later on, but saw some of it. So I'm going to give it to the WNBA, okay? Because, again, I'm in those girls' corner. Again, I've been a women's college basketball fan going back to the 90s, following the Lady Monarchs of Old Dominion here in the 757. So I love the sport. And, of course, L Train does, because he teaches those girls how to play and he coaches them, So
Right.
Fast forward to the WNBA. I'm a WNBA fan. And I'm glad that, things, ended well last night with a great game between those two teams. And again, like I say, this was a time to showcase the women, the women, minus Caitlin Clark. And had Caitlin been healthy, of course she would have been there, But hats off to the WNBA and what they did this week.
So my parting shot is to Shadur Sanders. I've been holding on to this one. I want people to understand that this was not a marketing thing with this young man. So what happened was there was a fire in the Garden, and if you're from Cleveland, you'll understand Garden Valley. It's
Garden
projects.
Valley. Oh yeah.
And what happened was there was some complexes. They were caught on fire, and it was terrible. Okay. And so what happened was Shadur Sanders was supposed to be at the ESPY Awards. He skipped the ESPY Awards to go into Garden Valley.
Wow.
And he set up, wasn't like a carnival, but he had food trucks and he had some things that he set up for the kids to play, just to give them a sense of sunshine, just to give the families a sense of families that had lost their belongings and things in this fire.
Good for him.
Shadur Sanders did this. This wasn't anything marketed. He didn't put it.
Good for him.
There are people who filmed it, but it wasn't a part of it. It was just who he is.
Good for him.
And and that's why I said this. That's why I know he will be a Cleveland Brown. They will not do anything to him because the fan support for Shadur Sanders is through the roof. But I commend that young man for understanding about community, for understanding about our people, and doing what he needed to do to help our people without the hoopla and the blah blah. He did that on his own, out of the kindness of his heart. And of course, the naysayers came out, he was just marketing. No, his fan base came out and said he does this everywhere he goes. He did it at Jackson State, he did it at Colorado, and now he's doing it in Cleveland. And so shout out, my hat's off to Shadur Sanders for thinking about the community and taking care of the community. So that's my parting shot.
Gotcha.
Great parting shot for both of you guys. Here's the crime about that is because I'm really in tune to sports. I'm really in tune with sports back in Cleveland, and I try to keep my ear to the grindstone about a lot of different sports. The crime in this is that should be plastered all over the place like his speeding ticket was.
All over.
Just like I heard about his speeding ticket, Rod. I didn't hear about that. And so therein lies the problem. Because that is a fantastic story.
Well said, Lionel.
That is a fantastic take. And for me to not know about that, as much as I pay attention to sports, just lets you know what's going on in sports out there. So thank you for bringing that to my attention, Rod. That's big time.
There you go.
My parting shot goes out to Everson Griffith. And a lot of people don't know who Everson Griffith is, but he was a defensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings for years, one of our best defensive linemen. If anybody knows the story about Everson, he's had some mental health issues. I think it kind of derailed his career at the end. He had some situations where he had some mental breakdowns, and he's long been retired from the Minnesota Vikings. This past week, he was kicked off of a Delta airline flight. They were in flight, and they had to turn the plane around to come back home because there was some sort of I don't know the specifics, but there was some sort of disruption with Everson Griffith on that flight. And so my parting shot to Everson is I hope that he is on the mend, and I hope that he continues to get the help that he needs, because he is ingrained in the Minneapolis community still. People love Everson Griffith here. He is one of these guys that will walk the walk and talk the talk. But, he's had some issues. And I think sometimes as Black men, the reason why I put this out there as a parting shot is that mental health is no joke. There is no shame in having some mental health issues. And if you feel like you need some help, seek out the help that you need. It doesn't make you a weak person. Right. It doesn't make you less of a person. Right. Mental health is a real deal. Real. And so this is a continuous battle for Everson. I know some people that know him directly. So for anyone out there that feels like they need some help, please seek out the help that you need. And my prayers continue to go out for Everson Griffith.
Yep, no doubt.
So let me real quick. I coached Everson Griffin.
Did you really?
Everson Griffin is from Avondale, Arizona.
Okay.
And the school that I worked at and coached at, that he is a graduate from that school. It's called Agua Fria High School.
Okay.
I've known Everson Griffin since he was 16 years old. And I do know the struggles that he went through coming out of USC. I do know the struggles that he went through in Minnesota. He unfortunately, after I think it was during training camp, he went home and his mother had passed.
Yeah.
And he discovered that his mother had passed. His mother was his world. And since that time, he's been in a kind of a spiral. I saw him maybe a year ago. He came and blessed the school and came and watched a football game. I love that young man. And
he's a good brother, man. He's a good brother.
I pray for him constantly. As a matter of fact, I did not know about the airplane thing, so I got to reach out to him. It's just continual prayer for that young man. He's a great, great dude, great kid. Still calls me coach. That's the first man I've ever hugged that it hurt. Okay, he's just a great young man. So I'm hoping that he gets over this and gets through this. He's married and has beautiful children. I've met his children, and so, but mental health is real, and we gotta and not judge them. We gotta try to help support in some form or fashion. So. Yeah, that hits home to me. That kid, he's a good kid.
Great kid.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you out there for everyone that tunes in to 3 the Hard Way. We're going to keep coming at you and growing this thing. Thank you to my fellas. Like and subscribe. T, Hot Rod, thank you for being on the show each week, man, taking the time. People out there, please hit that like and subscribe button. It only takes a minute. It really doesn't take a minute. It takes a second to just hit that like and subscribe button, and we will make sure to see you when we see you next time. That's right. 3 the Hard Way.
Yeah, Marcus, come hit us up.
See you next week. All right.
All right now.
Later.